Welcome back, Jeff Codigo Podcast. Dennis Barker Jr. along with Bryson Jurek. Got a couple of guests today. We'll get to that here in just a second. First off, just to mention basketball a little bit. It is basketball season. It's wrestling season. It's swimming season. It is winter and it is cold outside, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to it a little bit. At least for the couple first days of it.
Well, you don't wear flip flops year round.
That is true, and you don't want to address that as the temperatures get colder.
Yeah.
I know you won't, so it's fine.
No, well, I mean, we're inside, so
That's true.
It's whatever.
That's true.
Girls basketball, they're off to a 4-2 start. Picked up a big win over Powell last night. 1 point win. Had to overcome a 6-point deficit to end up pulling it out. Had 3 girls scoring double figures. Brooke Satterfield with 15, Maddie Hawk with 14, and Briley Lindsay with 11. A big first half by her to really help things out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these ladies do the rest of the season too. Obviously, I mean, first few games of high school basketball season, you play some tougher opponents. Usually, you're playing in tournaments, you're getting everything figured out, and once we get into district play and things like that, I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. They look pretty good.
I think the first few games are always ugly because, you have such a short window to practice, and then you jump straight into games. And I think that's something that the boys are kind of going through right now. 2-5 start. Had some close games, a couple of close losses to Knox Central and Heritage that they could have won over at Granger last week. But still just kind of sorting some things out. I mean, like Andy Hill said, it's a young group that they've got, young and experienced. They lost so many starters from last year's team. Right now it's just kind of a figuring out process for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a figuring out process, and I have very good confidence that with Andy they're going to be able to figure it out. And, as the season progresses, we're going to see some real progress with them, and I'm excited as well to see what the boys do.
And then, of course, you talk about getting into district. Well, wrestling got into district last night, and 2 big wins over Morristown East and Morristown West. Kind of came down to the wire against Morristown West. Had a 2-point lead going into the final match. Kalick Van, senior kid that's been to state multiple times, steps up, gets a pinfall. He couldn't even give up a decision. It's worth 3 points. Couldn't even give up a decision, and he goes out and gets a pinfall, I believe, in the second round, clinched the match for him. And by all means, they've only got Sevier County left as far as district opponents go, so they're in good position to claim an unprecedented 17th straight district title.
Absolutely, and wrestling's one of those. Just looking over at least the more recent history in Jefferson County, we've got. Everybody knows track. Track's been dominant, but wrestling's right up there with them. 17 years almost at this point. It's unprecedented, and it's amazing to see what these kids and coaches are able to do out there.
17 years, I just realized that goes back to whenever I was in high school, so that is a long time ago.
I was I don't even know, 5 or something like
wow.
that.
Okay,
6,
thanks for making me feel
even
older. I think that's going to be a theme of this show. That'll lead us into our guest. We've got outgoing Jefferson County baseball coach Zach Reese and one of his would-be senior captains, Maddux Rogers, joining us today. Guys, glad to have you.
Thanks, brother. Glad to be in.
Maddux, you've been wanting to get on this for a while now.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Why not? Jeff Co.
Jeff Co superfan right here.
That's it.
He really is. Zach, you've had an incredible career coaching here over the last 8 years. Obviously, I wish we had you on in better terms because I was looking forward to another spring with you. I think that you stepping down was kind of a bombshell for all of us, really. Talk about kind of what went into that decision.
Just a lot, it's tough to go through, even like I told people like this summer I kind of had a feeling, I was just kind of burnt out, and with these guys, this senior class, I was like on one hand, I was trying to hold on, like just, hey, 1 year, 2 years, whatever. But on the other hand, I didn't want to leave somebody, like I wanted to leave whoever was coming in a position you could be successful right away, and with this group that's here and like they're capable, they got the talent, and they're going to be able to do it. So it's kind of one of those things like selfishly I would have just, 6 more months, whatever. But then I didn't want to do that to Coach Long, Coach Potts, whoever it was going to be. I didn't want to like I kind of saw it with Coach Cox. When he got this job here, he kind of had it was a group that was not that wasn't any good. Just the talent level wasn't there when Coach Warner left, and he got the wrong end of the deal. And in 2 years he was done. And he had a lot of stuff going on too, but. I could see being here with him during that took a toll. That was hard for him, and I just don't think he got, a fair shot at it. And I didn't want to do that to somebody else, So just a lot of stuff went into it, and it was, like I said, talking to these guys, the hardest thing I ever had to do, talking, telling them. But this time, it's been a great run. And would rather have gone out, not getting our butts beat like we did. That's why I told Coach Potts and Long, I said, it was great that we were where we were to finish the year, and that's a good spot to go out and go to the sectional. But it'll stick with me for a while, just getting whipped down there like that, and that kind of being the end of it. But like I said, just for me and the family, and it's been coming, So just kind of holding on when I probably shouldn't. I just probably should have just. In the summer, whenever. But here we are.
You mentioned basically not wanting to leave the cupboard bare.
Yeah. And
by the time that you left.
Yeah, that comes across as not being fair. That's talking there ain't as much talent coming. It's going to be fine, But with what we were able to do last year and basically the same team coming back, there's going to be a lot of expectations, and that's. As a coach, that's what you should want. Coach Long right now, he should be feeling good. Man, I got a group I can go win right now, and at the same time, he gets that other side. Hey, there's a lot of expectations here for baseball, and other parts of the state nobody cares about baseball, But you've seen it. You go from Upper East Tennessee, basically you go across the state now. Tennessee baseball, it's really good. It's a high level, and some places, like I said, they kind of put it down the totem pole. I think here it's still important, and that's a big thing. People care about baseball here, and showing they'll support it. So
I just feel just on that notion, that I've been around programs where a coach will literally wait until his super class of seniors graduate, and then I think it's time to step down. And then you do see that next coach come in, and they've got a bunch of freshmen and sophomores that they have to rely on that just, it's not very good. And then it looks bad. And then, of course, that already gets heat on them from parents and administration. They don't have a chance from the start. So I think, you even having that in mind is quite admirable, especially considering most coaches wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maddux, whenever the news came out, Coach Reese talked to you. What was the feeling like in the locker room for you guys?
It was kind of shocking, but Coach Reese told us, he talked to some of us before about, in the summer he got offered a job in Greenville, but he didn't take it because he wanted to stay around. But at the end of the day, it's what he's doing, what's best for him, and you can't, even if you feel any towards of emotions towards that, you can't really blame him if he's doing what's best for him and his family. But with staying with Coach Long, I think that's just it's a good option because he was Coach Reese's assistant, so you can't really go wrong with who they pick between him or Potts. But I think Coach Long is going to give us a good chance to go back to where we need to be and compete at a high level for a district championship and maybe more than that.
Obviously, does that give you guys some kind of comfort level? Considering that the job is staying in-house.
Yeah, most importantly, I think if they would have hired somebody out of the coaches that we've had, I think it would have been a more difference or a bigger difference than what it would have been if Coach Long stayed. But now that we have Coach Long, I think everybody's okay, we have somebody that knows our players, know what our team is, and knows what we do, like it's reading a book.
Zach, you, whenever we talked about you stepping down, you said that your hope was that they'd pass it on to one of your two assistants, basically kind of like what happened with you, and that ended up being the case. What were your thoughts on Zach Long being the choice?
I'm happy for him. He's ready to go. He knows what he's doing, and like I said, it's difficult. That had to be between him and Potts. Like I said, it's a unique situation because both of them, like in a world that we live in right now, to have the same two assistants the entire time, like it's unheard of, you know. And I was lucky to not just one of them. I was able to keep two of them for 9 years, you know. And me and Zach went back with Coach Cox, you know. So we've been even longer than that. So at the end of the day, like I just tried to stay out of it, you know. And whoever didn't get it should be like Coach Potts. Like that, like I feel for that too, that side of it, you know, because if you sit around for 9 years and you wait, like when you don't, like Coach Long's going to be, the interview, like I feel for that side too. I feel for both of them, you know. I'm happy for Zach, but at the same time, like I said, looking at both sides, like I wouldn't have wanted to have to make that decision, you know. It's tough, and I told them both, you know, straight up, like I'm gonna let Coach Rogers, Coach Cox do what they're gonna do. I'll give them my opinion, like on like, hey, here's what each one of them does good, and you know, whatever. But that's a tough. Like I don't know. I just couldn't have made that decision. I didn't want to have any part of it. So, he said, like I said, he's ready to go. You know, he's been around this game. I tallied it up last year. I think between me, him, and Potts, like 40-something years at this school as a coach, player. And like I said, this is a place I think you need that. Like I think you need, like people say it all the time, get one of your own. I think that's kind of overblown sometimes, but I think here, like I think that's important. You know, with Coach Hill, Coach Riot, like you got a little bit more pride because you went to school here and you played here. I think it's going to kind of show through how the kids play. I think it's with our guys, you know, it's a selfish world out there, and the way college athletics is going, it's trickling down to high school. Everybody's out for themselves, you know, but like I think our kids still play with that. Like I'm proud of Jeff County, you know. So, funny story, Brody Carr, he goes on a recruiting trip. I tell stories.
Oh yeah.
Personal story. So he goes.
We welcome stories.
He goes on a recruiting trip or camp thing, MTSU back in the fall, and the coach is like, "Hey, where do you go to high school?" I can't remember the exact. He's like, "I go to Jeffco." I'm like, so his mom's like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't answer like that. Like he's just like shouting it out, Jeffco," and I'm like probably a college coach, you probably don't approach it that way, you know. But
need to be more like
kind of
Jefferson County.
Yeah. But again, that's just kind of coming out like he's proud, he's proud of where he's from.
He
you know,
showed that in the student section.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
You know a thing or two about the student section?
Oh yeah, it is. It's the place to be for sports for sure.
He talks about. I talked a little bit before we got started about getting old. They say getting old sucks, but I think realizing that you're getting old sucks even worse. And where I'm going with that is, I graduated with Zach Long here, 2008. And now he's a head coach of the baseball program? Dude. Yeah, no, I know you're the oldest one in the room, but still, I'm just...
I know. Hey.
But happy for him. Happy for the program. Like you said, I think that good things are in store for them. You got a favorite memory that you can think back on over your time here?
I got all kinds of them, man.
All right, well, let's
I don't know.
roll down the list.
How much time do we got? I did right here, first one, best one right here.
Putting him through a table?
Put him through a table his freshman year. He's in there, he tried to dunk on me. That's the thing going on where we just go imaginary dunk on people's head like I'm a basketball goal, and he does it. And I just kind of lost it, you know?
Yeah.
So I picked him up, threw him through a table. Right in half.
And that was how
Like
many years
WWE.
ago? He was a
That's his
freshman.
freshman
year.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
And
We had a table out there. We had Subway or something. What was it? They brought food in.
So you put him through the food?
Hammered
Picked him
it.
up, slammed him down to that table. You know?
That's amazing that you put your
Principal's
boss's kid through a table, and you're not having to step down until 3 years later. He's not having to do the whole, I want to spend more time with my family and all that stuff. You don't have to do that for 3 more years.
Yeah. He's great. He's awesome.
Good time.
That's what
Good time.
I got all kinds. I don't know. I got all kinds, man.
I mean, more so on the baseball field.
Here's one that Coach Crispin, he'll be listening to this at some point, money.
Sure.
So 2010, I was up here. I was kind of like, I was just kind of joking around all the time. I didn't know how to coach or I was student teacher. I didn't know anything about it, so I was like, it's gonna be fun, you know. So I'm up there. We're working on the field one day. He's got like I guess it's like a Maddux, like an old school Maddux, Cobb County. You don't know what the thing is up there.
Sure.
But, so we're out there, and I guess we'd finished up. I took the thing just trying to be a cool guy or something, and I slammed it in the infield, like the grass part of it, and I just started ripping it up. This is where I coached with Coach Warner, where he was like this grass here is like you don't touch this grass, you know how he was. So I slammed that thing in that turf, and I just kept pulling it up and down. There's like chunks of grass everywhere. So Crispin gets over there after I don't even know where he was, and he comes in his little post-practice meeting, and he's going psycho. Because he looks out there and he sees all the grass, and I'm just sitting in the back over there just laughing, and I'm staring right at the players, and he's just going to town like, you don't care about nothing, you don't. So then after it's over, and his face is red and shaking. I was like, I was the one that did that. But I let them players take it for about 20 minutes of just straight. That's a great memory right there.
Poor kids.
I know. I remember that like it was yesterday. So.
Your second year.
Yeah. Anyways, back
Sorry.
to what we're talking about.
Your second year, you guys make a state tournament run. Did you ever imagine that would be possible? I mean, I know that you knew that you had some talent, but did you think that something like that would be possible that early in your head coaching career?
Not really. You know, it's like baseball postseason. It's difficult. You know, and I think it gets bad. Like people, I say it all the time. People look at basketball and they think every sport's like everybody goes to the region. You know, they're like how hard is it to get there? You know, because that's what our program. That's all I talk about. Like, hey, can we get there? Because once you get there, it don't matter how you really even match up. It's just like on that one day, what happens, you know, and then on that Friday, what happens. So it's kind of it's completely different than every other sport, you know, and all you got to do is get to that point, and who knows, you know, and so you don't ever, like I said, we'd never been before, so that wasn't even everybody like, hey, let's state champ, like we don't even talk about state championship, like. It's so dang hard to even get there, you know. So it wasn't really there. My first year though, they like those guys they bought in. I could kind of see it. The first year we got beat in the semifinals of the district tournament, and we had to beat Sevier County twice on the same day to get to the finals. We started a kid, Dylan Frazier. He's a left-handed kid. Does about 72 miles an hour, and we're going up against big bad Sevier County. And this is the year they went to the state tournament. So 2016, we got smoke bomb in the season, and we went out there, and Chase Wallace was starting that day. So that was Chase Wallace. I guess he was like sophomore maybe, but everybody knew like his brother, Deuce Wallace, like quarterback going to Vanderbilt. It's like, oh, this kid's gonna. So then this kid started getting like talk like Division I baseball player. And he's out there, and we had to play him back-to-back on the same day. In that first game, I was like, I had nobody to throw. So I threw this little kid out here, and I was like, you're going to go until I come out there and get you, probably the end of the game. Whatever happens, happens. So the Deuce Wallace, Chase, we're down 4-0, I think. Sixth inning, we scored 4 runs. They bring Lingenfelter in. So that's when he was like, I don't remember I guess that was his junior year, and everybody knew him. Like, this kid's going to be drafted, and we're like, oh, Lord, here we go. So they bring him in, and then we score 2. I don't even remember what happens. We end up playing 9 innings. We scored 2 runs in the 9th inning to beat him in that first game, and that kid threw all 9 innings. And that's when the impersonal, like, this kid wasn't going to play college baseball. He didn't even pitch that much throughout the year. But the time we needed him to go out there and be like, hey, just give us whatever you got, like, we beat him against two studs, you know. We had to turn around and play. The next game, Devontae Matthews on the mound, we had no shot. Like, probably one of the most gifted athletes I've seen in any sport since I've been doing this. And he shoved it. We didn't have a chance. But you could tell just by what happened in that first game, those kids kind of figured it out right there in that moment. Like, you know, it's a little bit different. So that kind of led into 17. Like I said, most kind of the same thing with what we talked about last year. Like we basically had the same group coming back in 17. You know, we had Bradley and Whitley and Royster, all them guys. They played Jacob Rogers. They played that 16 years. So they kind of got a taste of like, man, this is big time baseball, and you got to bring you got to bring it in the postseason. You know, and that's been my thing since day one here. That's all that matters. And 17, it just kind of ran right. Like them kids just picked up where we left off, and I think 17, 18 we're like 20-4 in the district in those 2 years. So just an incredible run. And like I said, 17 by itself, it's just, I don't know. You know, people said, well, that was the first year we avoided playing DB or Science Hill in the region game, so we played Tennessee High, and I'm like, hey, they're there for a reason. They're there because they beat DB and Science Hill that year. But I think it was just, like our players, I don't say they've had a fear of it, but every time we play them, it's just like, oh, man, here we can Science Hill, DB. You know, we kind of got out of that a little bit last year with Science Hill, you know, but just kind of like a, I don't know, anxiety, like I don't know what it is, you know. But playing Tennessee High, we played them up here and beat them, and you know, what's funny about that year, DB, we played DB on that Wednesday, and we're getting beat. I think they scored 5 runs in the first inning on that region championship game, and our kids could have easily just said, hey, we got further than we've been, like let's mail it in. You know, we ended up getting beat like 8-1 or something like that, but 2 days later, kind of, like I didn't know what we were going to get on that Friday down there at Farragut, you know, and it was kind of, like I don't even remember much of it, to be honest with you.
Really?
It's kind of just a malaise, you know, how it went down and what happened. It's awesome, though.
I definitely remember that day.
Graduation.
Tell me your thoughts.
Project
Well,
graduation.
it was the day of project graduation, our senior year, and of course all those guys that he's talking about, you know, Royster and Matt Bradley, Jacob Rock, they're all seniors, so we were all just sitting there. We were at project graduation in Carson Newman's gym, and I had my phone out and I was on Game Changer, and we were sitting there just following a little play-by-play every so bit, and once the game was over, man, we were going crazy.
Did y'all dogpile too?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of don't really remember as much of what happened afterwards, just like you did. I mean, it was a very big. Like we had almost the entire senior class sitting around there watching what was going on. It was a big time.
How long did this take last? Like 3 hours? I got like 3 hours. We can just tell these stories. Hey, what's funny up here on that Wednesday? So Bradley threw on. Funny story. Like at the end of 16, like me and him, kind of in the summer, we had a little not falling out, just kind of. Like he's trying to do, like kind of just, I've told him before, kind of just like about me, like I'm working on college, all this stuff. 17, I've never seen a kid flip the switch like he did, you know. And 17, he's a dog, like I'd have rode with him anywhere. And he came Wednesday night, we play up here at DB, and he gets on the bus and he's like, hey, I ain't feeling good. And the next day he's sick, he's out of school. I ain't gonna cut. This would be the point where I cuss on here. So Friday we show up down there. I'm thinking everything's good. Like he's gonna. I told Coach Long, I was like, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be good. Because as the year before, as the first year, the pitch count came into play, but it was different numbers. So really, like he could go 3 days rest based on the number, because it was just that first year they didn't really know what they were doing. They're just like, hey, let's throw this out there. So I knew Monday, Friday, I was like, we got him and we're gonna win with him. And then Friday, he gets at the game, and I look down there in the bullpen, and he's out there throwing up in the bullpen down there at Farragut, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Hey. And
Thank you for catching yourself.
I didn't make the lineup. I had a lineup made before we even got there, and like, so we go out there to the plate meeting, and Buckner's like, hey, you got your lineup? I was like, I don't know. I don't got it. And I keep doing this right down here, looking down there, and I'm like, this is a disaster.
Matt Bradley flu game, that's what it was.
But then he did his thing, you know, and like I said, that's a kid. Like I could have killed him, I think, at the end of his junior year, and I'd do anything for him, you know. And it's just like you talk about putting it on the line right there, and then he come back through on Monday or Tuesday, the first game of the state tournament, complete game, just like. And if we got to that state championship, he was going to be out there again, you know. And just a guy you could count on, you know. It didn't matter. He didn't have like crazy overpowering stuff, you know. He's a great high school pitcher, and I don't know. There's a lot of winning in that Farragut game, but that's kind of one thing. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he's even going to be able to pitch. If he can't pitch, who's going to pitch?
Well, I mean, we've seen what Farragut has turned into. I mean, Lord, go out there last year and you see it on the outfield wall, state champion this year. It's just back to back to back to back to back. So the fact that you guys got over them and kept them from getting another state championship, I mean, and you see how much talent that they had to pick from over there. I mean, I think that says a lot in itself, especially for a program. Because, I mean, we've talked about it. You've got these rural programs. I mean, you're the only, you know, you're a 3A, now 4A school, right? But you're the only one in this county. They've got, what, 5, 6 of them in Knox County? Plus a couple of AA, AAA, single A schools sprinkled in.
Bearden, Hardin Valley, and Farragut. Those are the 3 baseball powers in Knoxville.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so, I mean, you're going to get talent, obviously, out of that pool, but not even that. You're just going to get numbers out of that pool. And I mean, so, I mean, for a program like this to be able to even achieve something like that, that's a lot.
And you know, it's one of those things like, I'll never forget it. I've told Coach Cox this story that you know, people kind of see them like they are the king of Tennessee baseball. You know, they deserve it. Like, and people look at them, people scared to go play them. You're like, oh man, here we, you know, kind of like what we've been with Science Hill DB. Like, oh, here we got to go play, beat these guys. Like, they've proven it year after year. You know, in that game down there, Coach Buckner comes over to me. He's like, before the game, I don't know if it was like he's trying to sign. Like, we didn't really know each other. Right now, we're great friends. You know, but back then he didn't know. Like, I'd only been here 2 years, and he's like, you know, I've never lost a sectional game on this field. And I was like, wow, great. You know, and then once we beat him, you know, talk about gaining respect, and now he knows, like, even with these guys here, when we go play them, like, they know, like, we're gonna be pretty dang good, you know, and that's why his sophomore year, you know, we go down there and playing the tournament, and you pitched that game.
Yeah.
Pitched a heck of a game. We lost like 5-4 or something like that on a walk off. But he knows when Jeff County's coming to play me, like, they're gonna be pretty good. You know, so I try to go every year. We scrimmage and play them.
Yeah, you even said before last year you only take teams that you
think
feel good about.
Yeah.
You take them and you'll either scrimmage them or find yourself in an early season tournament with them.
Because that's who you got to go through. That's unfortunate because, like I said, they built a dang machine down there. But
11
like, if you want to go to the state tournament, you got to go through Farragut probably. You know, so.
That was the wildest thing, sitting in the dugout. And it was just like, okay, so that kid's going to Virginia Tech, that kid's going to Tennessee, that kid's going to Texas A&M, that kid's going to UCF for now. That's unbelievable.
Hey, we go. Another story time. You need to get Mad Dog. He needs to be on the back. He needs to be on the mic right here.
Well, give him.
I told you.
Team up for something.
I got 3 hours here, buddy. I can go as long as you want me to go. I got 13 years of this. We go up. Me and Coach Warner. My first year here, we played Beard in a sectional. So Farragut is, I can't remember what happened. We played them on Saturday. So we had prom Saturday, or graduation. Then we're playing them Saturday. So Friday night, me and him go to DB. DB played Farragut in the sectional up there. You had Kyle Serrano on the mound, AJ Simcox. You had like 7 draft picks on the field.
Sure.
And you've been to DB, and when that place is like when we go play them, there might be 100 people there. This thing here had students, talk about student section, from that pole down all the way across. I bet there was 1,000 students there for that game. You talk about craziest high school baseball atmosphere. It's nuts, man. And it's just, that's what I'm saying. Tennessee, people they don't even realize, like, it's a dang day. Like, baseball in Tennessee's legit, you know, so. It's a cool story.
Well, and it's gotten better and better. I know even, going back to my time in Cott County, I remember Andy ended up scheduling Granger for a home and home. And that was when they had the kid. I can't remember his name, but he got drafted to
Cabbage.
the. Yep.
Trey
He got.
Cabbage?
Yep. He got drafted to the Twins. I was just like, why are you wanting to play them? He's just like, I just want to see him.
Yeah.
Okay. They got smoked, but they got to see him. So, I mean, yeah, the baseball talent in this area has, I don't know, I feel like it's exploded. I mean,
Yeah.
it's super good right now. I mean, the fact that you've even got the University of Tennessee bringing in so many in-state kids. Because, in other sports, you just don't see that much.
No.
I just think like last year, I mean, we first game of the year we played West, rolled them through 5 innings, and then we go play them on that Tuesday and get smacked. I mean, that was kind of like a reality check. Like, oh, okay, this district's not going to be easy to run anymore, like it used to be, just us in Sevier County. That's the same this year. I mean, they're going to be pretty good this year. But I think after we played Science Hill later in that week and we beat them at Science Hill, I think that's when we're like, okay, we got a chance that we can really make it further than, or like make it like that 2017 team did, and then we just survived and advanced through the district tournament. Sevier County smacked us twice, and then we made it up there to the region. We lost to Science Hill on that Friday, and we had to win 2 games Saturday. Rolled in early Saturday morning, beat Daniel Boone, and they threw a, what's he at, ETSU? They threw a good arm. We beat him, and then we had we faced Sevier County's kid that was originally going to Campbell. I think he's at Walter State now, but he was like their 3, and he was a D1 commit. We ain't seen him all year, and then we go out there and smack him, and it was kind of crazy. I mean, Sevier County beat us, 6 times in the regular season last year?
That was a wild day of baseball.
And then we
Nice.
go beat them, and then went to play Farragut, and that was just a tough series. I mean, they're just loaded with talent.
How much fun was that Saturday as a whole for you guys?
Oh, it was wild. I think throughout the year we, like Coach Reese said, it dealt with Matt Bradley. I think we kind of had some selfish people on the team, and like Saturday, we all came together as a group and put out our best baseball that we had and made a run.
How rewarding was it to get that win over Sevier County? Because, like you said, they every time that y'all played, they won. Man.
Yeah, I mean, going back to
7 times was his charm, I guess.
Yeah, going back to my sophomore year, we split with them regular season, and then they waxed us in the district tournament. So they probably beat us about 7
times in a row.
7 times in a row, and we finally had their number and beat them. It's wild.
What was that day like for you?
That's crazy, man. This is a great point what he had there. Like 16, 17, 18, those 3 years, like a team from our district went to the state tournament. You know, it had Sevier County, us, Seymour. And now when we went to this 14, people are like, oh, Jeff County, it's going to be Jeff County, Sevier County. Like, our district prepares you to go win on that next game. You know, because you think back since I've been, like, the quality arms coming through his place, like, it's unreal, you know, and like if you can get out of your own district, you can go do what you did like we did this year, you know, because you're prepared. You've seen it. Like he said, Morristown West, they're good. They're talented. You know, in Sevier County, they've always had the dudes, you know. So if you can get out, you can go up there and you see a kid going to ETSU, like it ain't like I seen this. Now we ain't been very successful against it, but you've seen it, you know. So it was crazy though. It was just like I said, chips are on the table. Like you do it or you don't, you know. And that's what I love about it, you know. That's why I like the old like Monday. Like you win on.
Well, that's the thing. You talked before the season. You talked about it used to be a 1-game shot. Now we got to find a way to win 2 or whatever. And it's just I don't know. You just almost seem downtrodden about it. But then that's the way you end up winning your way to the sectional.
I just love the one. I think I love that more than anything. That one game, like you can, and that's what I'm saying. That's for a school like Jeff County. That's how you advance in the postseason. If you put us up against one team one day, I don't care who it is. Like I said, take whoever you want to put. Like I'll take our chances on one day. You know. Now with that region tournament, it's a little more. It's difficult. It's a lot more difficult. But at the end of the day, we got basically in the same spot by losing on Friday, and that's what I loved about it. I went in that morning, I was like, I don't care what happens. I was like, we're in a spot where it's going to be over today, like we're going to know we're either going to do it or we're not today. And then we got to the second game, and it's even more like that. And you're like, hey, who cares? Like, who cares that they beat you 6 times in a row? You know, you got one game, and we come out and smacked them right in the face, and they're
Do you
done.
think that they played
They're
with that
done.
same attitude? Because, I mean, y'all jumped on them early, and, it was over. It was very, considering how all the other games had gone, and, I mean, I know that, you might have been in a bad situation with arms and all that stuff, trying to be mindful of pitch counts and what matchups are coming up and all that stuff, but still, it wasn't even close.
No. It was funny before the game. It's one of Sevier County's assistant coaches. It's one of our travel ball coaches. Me and Bo's travel ball. He wrote on a baseball and threw it over. He's like, Jeffco sucks. And, he was just making a joke about it, but I was like, all right.
You'd think that these teams would stop doing that,
No.
especially after the
Drawing in the dirt there.
yeah that thing.
Yep.
Look at that.
I
man,
remember
if you
that.
want to. Put that out there.
I remember that.
Hey, you
one.
look back over the whole time I've been here. I bet we played Severe. It's probably the most competitive head to head thing I've ever been a part of. You talk about good baseball. All the games we've had, probably 60 times we played them in 8 years. I'd like to see the number on I know last year lopsided, but you take the total number, it's competitive, and that's why he's probably my closest, Casey and them guys over there, just because they do it right, and it's competitive, and they want to slit your throat while you're out there playing the same way we do, but at the end of it, like I said, that's the one dude I go to more than anybody with baseball stuff, and it's been awesome, like I said, with those, just back and forth with those guys, They knew it though. Like I said, they knew it quick in that game, and it was over. And I go back to the start of the day, that first inning of that first game. We could have easily just said 3-0 or whatever was 3-0. Daniel Boone game.
They got out of
They
hand.
scored first inning.
They scored 4, and then we put up 3.
You just shut it down. First inning, let's just go. Let's get this over. Go home. Be done. Good job. Made it to the region. They did. So I kind of look at that game more so than I do the Sevier County game.
Maddux kind of cut you off in the middle of your story. Do you want to finish?
No, he was just okay,
I thought he's going in that Morristown West part of it.
Nah,
I
so
was going to let him get heated up.
I mean, that baseball thing,
Think about it.
I bet Sevier County, I bet their players going through that game are all right, we've beat them 7 times. This is just another butt whooping in Jeff County like they always done. But we put up 3 against that dude. But one thing I noticed, as being a leadoff hitter, that dude that was pitching for Sevier County, he would tip his pitches. So I think I grounded out to first base or something, and I went over to whoever was hitting second. I think it was Drew. I was like, "Hey, Drew, watch his hand before he puts it in his glove." Just recognizing things that that helped us because we hit him all over. We knew what he was throwing because he would tip us our pitches, and we hit him like crazy.
It's like that sign stealing scheme. It's Jeff County style right
Yeah.
there. That's how we do.
Just ain't banging on a trash can.
Yeah, and then that West thing. That was kind of that just pissed us off, most definitely.
Well, we made it. How far?
You did.
Made it quite a ways.
Well,
I didn't even.
that ain't even that bad of a word. Just for I didn't see it at all because I didn't walk up that way to the field, and one of the players sent it in our group chat and was like, "Hey, look at this," and I was like, "All right." And we played him that day, and it was win or go home, and we beat him. And of course, we had some things to say after the game, but that's part of it.
What kind of things?
Nah, we can't repeat that.
Okay. I won't lie. Whenever I heard about that, I thought you scribbled that junk in the dirt just to get them
No.
motivated.
Nah. They were though.
Yeah, I
They
know.
were.
I was in the dugout.
It's become that. And we had a team. I don't even remember what year it was. Probably. Might have been 19. 19. We weren't very good. We weren't very good. And I think it was that group. We got smacked up there by West, and I said, "You just look over there and this is a team that you when I was playing here. That's a team you hate right there. You hate Morristown West. I don't care. It's so with travel ball. You're friends with everybody now. They got friends on Morristown West weekend. Whatever.
Sure.
But that's the group, man. I hate them. I hate Morristown West. And I just kept that when I went into coaching. Same thing in that group up there that day. we was like complete. Actually, no, it was Matt Bradley's group because we were out of school that day. I don't remember if it was ACT, something going on, and we go play, and we just completely nothing. Like, we just showed up.
I found in my time doing this that playing games when out of school is typically a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, usually.
We got smacked, and they didn't even care, and I'm like, this is unacceptable. You know, these guys over here. And these guys, finally, I got a group now, they hate them as bad as I do. And you was shown last year, and like I said, they don't like us. They don't like us either. You know, but at 3-team district, at the end of the day, it's coming down to one of us two probably the last few years. You know, and like I kept saying, till you do it, I don't want to hear no more of it. You know, go do it, go prove it. And our guys that day, easiest coaching job I ever had. I didn't say nothing. All I said before the game was like, hey,
Don't do anything stupid.
don't do something stupid, because like TSSLA was like, they somehow got involved in, like, they knew about it, and they're like, this is not going to be good today. So I just got them before the game. I was like, hey, like, you play with that fire. I ain't got to do nothing, but don't do something stupid, because then if we do win, then you're done. You know, reason tournament, whatever.
He talks about the fact that you guys, I mean, you play travel ball during the off season, and you do play with guys from Sevier County, from Morristown East, from
Coach
Morristown
Long's calling me.
East.
You want to get him on the podcast, the coach?
I don't think it'd sound good over a phone.
It'd get ratings for him.
How tough is that, though, to kind of manage those relationships? Because, I mean, obviously you're going to be friendly at that time, but...
I mean, personally, like, I'm friends with, I guess some of the kids that we play with, but, like, going into that game, I'm like I'm not your friend today.
Sure.
Win or lose, I mean, I'm not your friend until the game's over.
And maybe not even then.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, like, the competitive side of me. I've always been competitive, but, like when I'm stepping on the baseball field, like, nobody's my friend from the opposing team. It's, I want to win. I want to beat the crap out of you as much as I can. But then in summer, it's fine.
This kid seems like, he seems like a younger version of you. I don't understand
He's
why
dog, buddy.
I don't understand why you'd put him through a table.
It's just fun.
Reality check.
Yeah. He's a Rogers number 3. I had to do, just like, hey. So.
Maddux, I know last year, into your sophomore year, you end up with the injury, have to have surgery,
Yep.
all that stuff. Almost looked like you weren't even going to have a junior year, but you did.
Yeah.
Still didn't get to pitch, though. Did that bother you some, or were you just happy to kind of be out there?
Just happy to be able to play because, when talking with Dr. Prey, he was like, hey, you're going to be done for a year max or a year minimum. But then, we got through therapy and stuff, got on the throwing program, and I was like, okay. We talked to him. I knew pitching was probably not going to be anything to happen until the end of the year. But I was, talking to him. He was like, all right, you play third base. He's like, how far you are in your throwing program. So I finished the throwing program. He's like, okay. And I showed him my schedule, like how we play conference games Monday, Tuesday, and the rest of the week's just non-conference. So I was like, I slid an idea by him. I was like, all right, can I play the field Monday and Tuesday and then DH the rest of the week? And he was like, as long as it doesn't bother your arm, I shouldn't have a problem. So then that's what I did.
How did your arm make it through the year?
I was good. It didn't really bother me. That first couple of conference series, I was like, okay, I got to get back in the throwing scheme of things. But other than that, it was fine.
That sophomore year, you pitched in that district tournament game against Sevier County.
I did.
Didn't even know that you were hurt?
I do. I knew after the fact, or...
You could feel pain, but you didn't...
I didn't go to the doctor yet, but I knew after the Pigeon Forge game when I pitched, I was like, all right, yeah, something's definitely off. But I just kept playing because I just didn't really worry about it. But then I remember Coach Reese and Coach Potts, they were like, asked me before the game, they were like, are you good to go? And of course I was lying. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'll throw. And I think I threw 5 innings. And then I said, all right, I think that's enough.
You guys almost won that game.
Yeah, we did.
Walk-off.
Mm-hmm.
Another walk-off.
Yeah, you were that close to just going ahead and advancing to the district championship with a guy with a bum arm.
That's all right. We had a bullet in the gun still, so it didn't matter.
That's right.
Are you going to be able to pitch again this year?
Yeah, I'll be ready to go.
You looking forward to that?
Most definitely. I enjoy that part the most because that's pitching's kind of like a mental thing. It's like you versus the rest of the team, the rest of the opposing team when they're hitting, and then it's just like a relationship between you and your catcher, and you're just kind of pitching. You're kind of like in a different zone than you would be than like playing the field. It's kind of like hitting. You're like, hey, I want to beat this guy. The pitcher, I want to beat him as much as I can.
I know you're not the head coach anymore, but you still know enough about this team. I can probably ask you, how do you feel about the arms for this team this year? Because I know not having Maddux last year, you were kind of looking for that guy to step up in the Tuesday role, and then even having some relief behind that.
It's loaded, buddy. It's loaded. Coach Long, you listening? It's loaded up.
Yeah, we got a lot of arms. Me, Bo, Brody, Briley, Cole Woolard, Stout. I mean, they're Dylan Edmonds. Hope I didn't miss anybody else, but
That's why I let you do that.
we're gonna have a. I mean, even if this starting wise, we're gonna be filled with a lot of numbers, but I think what gets most teams in high school baseball is who can roll out after the starter and finish the game off, and I think we've got a lot of depth in the bullpen.
That's it, man. Got to have 4. That's what I've always said. Monday, Tuesday, you got to have 4 dudes. If you don't, you can still get through there, Because at the end of the day, postseason, you just need one, really. But you're going through Monday, Tuesday, like I said, what we're going through, you don't got 4, you ain't going to win. You ain't going to win Monday. You might get lucky, Maddux told complete game on Monday. Now we're better for Tuesday, but that, like I said, we got 10 of them. And 10 of them over here.
Yeah, and this year, pitching-wise, I think it's probably been one of the deepest it's probably been. But I think where we'll struggle is offensively. Just being honest, it's offensively you're losing Drew, Isaac, Landon, Owen, Jason. I mean, at least 3 or 4 guys that were in the top 7 of the lineup. We're gonna have to find people that can step up and find a way to get on base and help us win offensively.
Talking about some 2-1 ball games, right?
Yeah.
That's what we like. I'm liking 2-1 ball games.
You mentioned Brody Carr. Where did he come from? Because I know he threw that game against Science Hill early in the season, the game where the wind was blowing and it was about 10 degrees outside.
He's
I guess.
A competitor.
Yeah.
And threw you guys to a win.
Yeah. He's got that. He's got that same thing, man. He's he may not have it on that day, whatever, but he's gonna compete, and you're gonna have a chance to win. It don't matter what he's got going on that given day, And I don't know where it comes from. Maybe parents, maybe playing these other sports. He's got the thing we can't teach, And that's, like I said, that's your successful teams. That's what you got to have, and he's got it. Big ballpark, man. That was a perfect opportunity to throw him out there. And like I said, our whole team knew it.
That was his first time pitching, I think, that year.
But our whole team knew, it was a confidence boost for the whole team by beating Science Hill. Nobody cares. It's a Thursday night. Nobody cares. And that even Coach Reese don't even talk. I don't care about Thursday night games. But that game right there, just beating them, they could care less. They were oh, who cares?
That kid that started for Science Hill, he got taken out, and then while we were shaking hands, he made sure he told everybody on our team that if he was still pitching the game, he would have won, or they would have won. And we're like, okay, buddy,
And that's how it goes. You around here, we play some double. When we play double A and single A team, I try to play good Union County or Greenville. If we go down and play somebody, I'm trying to I don't want to I don't care about no free win. I want to go play somebody that's going to make us better, and that's why you get in these situations like us on a Thursday may be completely different than what the other team's throwing on a Thursday. Science Hill, they don't even got to throw their 1-2 sometimes on Monday, Tuesday up there. We got to throw them every week, so we may go in on a Thursday and they're throwing a 1 and we're on number 5, or maybe flipped around, we're throwing our 1 against somebody else's 5, and people they just look at the score. And they're like, oh, well, Jeff County. Like we've had it with Greenville, man. That's you talk about battle. We've had more with them, and we got flat out drilled a few times.
Yep.
Like 12-1, 14-1, and then we've had times where I've had my one, and I go against your number 4, and we, like Franklin did that year, and there's a no contest. You know, so people get lost and win. Same thing, wins and losses. But for that game, our guys, this is like we beat them, and that was huge for us.
Yeah, I like that story about Brody Carr telling that coaching from Jeff Coe. I like that. I mean,
That's what Coach. His mom told me that too.
I'll
She's
let
like,
it-
you need to talk to Brody about how to approach a college coach. I was like, I'm glad he's proud of where he's from.
I love that.
Probably just let's go a different route.
I let him run that flag in the student section. He enjoyed
That's awesome,
it.
though.
Except for the fact when I went to the Florida-Tennessee game and Dennis put out a tweet that East stole our flag, I was like, Brody, I give you one job and you let him take it. He came to school that next Monday dressed up. He tried to make an impression and make sure he told me he was sorry.
It's supposed to be their only score of the night too, and
Yeah,
then they got a cheap one. Not the. Well, we won't even get into.
Nah,
it.
you'll have that.
Yeah, well, you got a couple of guys from the baseball team on your golf team.
I do.
Lucas,
They're going to
Lucas
have
Avely.
they'll have a big impact.
Yeah, Lucas and Dylan and Cole Osborne's on the team. I got a lot of baseball players. I feel like
They were pleasant to work with.
I feel like half of my golf team was baseball players at some point in the last 2 years. And Landon Thomas came out too. Like I had a lot of them out there. They're good to work with. They work hard. They're the most competitive people I've ever seen on a golf course before. It's interesting.
They give you a headache at all?
Sometimes. Especially when they don't know the rules. Pop out the foot wedge every now and then. That's the problem you'll have. Free drop out of the pocket, something like
That's
that.
how Mad Dog plays too.
I don't know.
Get ball. Keep firing, boys. Let's go.
Maddux, you, obviously you led a pretty great student section this year.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
Do you expect that to return a reward for baseball?
110. Oh, baseball?
Yeah.
I don't
We
know.
gotta be careful with that because we about had a fight last year.
But last year we had a fight.
Something about
Hey, that was with
cheeseburger?
Morristown. That was
Yep,
with Morristown
West. Here we
I
go,
remember
another
that.
Morristown
I was
West
standing
story.
right next to Tyler Crispin.
My brother Tyler Crispin.
I was standing right next to him when that lady came over and started yelling at him, and I just kind
He
of
just
took
let
2
one
steps
fly.
back and turned the other direction.
The funny thing is, I asked him after because we're good friends, and the dude Paxton, he's a good pitcher. He just missed a fly ball. You'll have that.
Sure.
And Tyler over there yells. He said, "If that was a cheeseburger, you would have called it." And
Wow.
that mom from West lost her mind. She was like, "Excuse me." I mean, she's yelling from the other side, and here she comes walking over. And this is the best part of the story. She was like, "Did you call my son fat?" And Tyler was like, "No, you just did." And that just sparked it. She just lost it.
That was an interesting day right there at the ballpark. I vividly remember that moment.
But student section football, it was something. I really wasn't expecting that many people.
Spencer said is the best one he's ever had.
Yeah,
since he's been here.
last year it got brought back up, revived again, and then this year, me and Taryn, we did what we knew we should do, and we had a lot of students show up. Hopefully, that rolls around basketball season. Next Friday, got the first home game against Cott County.
You gotta be careful though, because you can't do the same thing in football that you do in basketball. You're a little bit closer quarters.
Yeah,
you will.
we'll have to be a little.
And you can't say take it back because you'll get Coach
Yep.
Randall teed up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Got Coach
exactly.
Lewis technical last year for saying makeup call. I'll have to make sure I don't say that. But yeah, other than that, student section, and it was a lot. A lot of kids came out, and I was surprised about it.
Where'd the war chant come from?
The war chant. Oh,
I was wondering about that too.
speaking of Brody Carr, him and Rex Churchwell, they were like, "Hey, let's run this chant," and I was like, "We're not DB," and so first of all, I was like, "I don't know about it," but then I let it roll, and everybody liked it, so we just kept bringing it out on.
I enjoyed it
on
too.
4th down. Yeah, it's little Seminoles there, Dennis's old place.
Bryson didn't like it that much.
No, I don't talk about Florida State. No.
We didn't play that till after we played DB. So if we'd have played at the DB game, may have made DB a little mad, but
their band wasn't there, so it
No,
would've been
and their band's legit.
Yeah.
Their
I think
band's
DB
nice.
has ruined that for me. I will never be able to hear that chant the same way again.
It's only like 10 people.
After that soccer game, oh my gosh, that was terrible.
I'm just excited to get some of those football players in the student section for basketball.
There you
Let
go.
them
That's what
just
you need right
raise
there.
Cane.
You're
Yep.
Good.
I know Coach Lewis and Coach Hill. They'll be loving the energy for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad that we're finally going to play a home basketball game.
Yeah, no
after
kidding. I
a
told-
month.
I know, I've been waiting on it.
I told Lewis and Coach Hill, I was like, geez, boys, are y'all just gonna schedule all the away games you
We got,
possibly
like,
can?
10 home games and 42 away games. something
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
well, it's awesome, especially for the newspaper budget.
And it's gonna be that girls basketball district. It's gonna be a dogfight for sure.
It has been
And-
for the
and
last
same
few
for the-
years.
Same for the boys. I think speaking of Briley, I think her having a good game is a big confidence boost because I think what's gonna win the girls team of the district is who's got the better post player. I know East has got Ella Wampler and she's a dog, and it's gonna have to be who can stop her in the paint because we got good enough guards that can shoot and do what they need to do, and the boys team just got to make their free throws and make the outside shot.
I think he'll need you as an assistant.
Analyst.
I was gonna play, but I didn't. I'd rather be in that student section just raising Immortal Kane. Might get kicked out of a game or two. You never know.
I think he would have liked having you and maybe one of your teammates out there on the floor. He's said several times that he would like that Bo Reward can shoot like no other. So
Yeah. Hey,
I haven't got to see it. So.
our Mari team we had.
I
in
would
8th
say
grade.
we had a little bit of a senior play 3-on-3 at Dandridge Elementary School, and I kicked their tails.
Because you're.
Maddox couldn't make a layup.
I
to save
couldn't
his life.
shoot. Right. Well, Dandridge Court's like
He's gonna blame it on the court.
playing at Piedmont, but I'm just excited for basketball season. Next Friday, I'm ready to go. Hopefully, I don't get kicked out the first game.
I will say he's probably one of the only people that I've seen almost get kicked out of a volleyball game.
Yeah, I
So,
should have got kicked out that
Severe County game. He
yeah,
got
for
he got a
sure.
broom out and started sweeping the floor.
After we swept them. That's just the stuff.
We got thrown out of the ball.
Well, then he can't get thrown out if it's over.
Well, he did a couple questionable things during
I was
the game.
chirping
too.
the whole
He got
game,
he
you
got
know
the
me.
entire student section to lay down on the floor and go to sleep during
Yeah.
a timeout because
You don't want to mock me up in a sports game.
No.
Yeah, it won't be good.
That was a fun time.
My parents will be disappointed more than they already are. And especially
Edit.
if anybody's gonna kick us out of the student section of the basketball game, it'll be my dad or Coach Cox, and that'll be a nice story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm up for it. I mean, last year, first home game, I got Lewis that technical.
Yeah.
That was the first home game.
Yeah.
We need that fire down there.
That was
Hey,
great.
that sparked a run though, and they ended up winning that game because they were losing. It sparked like a 14-2 run.
They did it for Maddux.
Yep.
No, did it from a brother Lewis over there, Coach.
Gosh.
Like, I'm ready to go. Friday can't hurry enough.
We got thrown out of a cross country meet.
What?
And hey, listen to this.
What?
Listen to
How
this.
do you get thrown out of cross country?
My dog should have done this. So Coach Long's brother, we were kind of the leader like Mad Dog. I wasn't as crazy as Mad Dog though. So we go, Chad Coley, good pitcher here. He went to MTSU. He had this big Dodge Ram truck. So we'd go to all the stuff. We'd try to support everybody. So we go to Cherokee Dam over there. And we had like 20 guys in the back of his truck, and we got these buckets of chicken, KFC chicken, the big buckets. Every one of us had a bucket.
Oh,
Hey,
gosh.
so they'd run by, and we throw the chicken legs at the runners. Hey, listen,
That's a good idea.
listen this. So at Cherokee Dam, the track was like part of it was over there where the actual dam is, and then you had to go up the road just like a quarter of a mile to the other part of it. So we're driving down the road on the main road, 20 guys in the back of that truck, and I guess it was like TVA police or whatever pulls us over, and they're like, we're sorry, we're just going right here to get our car, and they're like, no, you are throwing chicken legs at the cross country runners.
Got kicked
All
out.
right, so we come straight here to the volleyball game. We got cowbells, chicken buckets.
What's happening on the same day?
Mr. Snotman, he's the principal here. He's like, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go. Same day.
You'll have that. That's good stuff.
That's something you got to live up to.
It's too late.
Yeah,
Cross
I
country.
think Delozer would kill you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Cross country. Man.
Um,
Love it.
I should have got thrown out that Bearden game when we lost. I mean, I ain't gonna blame it on the refs fully, but some of those calls were pretty bad. That last pass interference call was brutal. They need an official replay in high school football.
Yeah.
Because some of the calls are just brutal.
The pass interference call was bad, but then I thought
Yep.
it was funny. The next third down, they throw it, and Bryson Letterman absolutely cleaned the kid out before the ball got there, and they didn't throw the flag.
It's
So it almost
surprising.
evened out, except that pass interference moved Bearden in position to kick
That's when
the
it counted,
50-yarder.
I can't wait for that. Themes are dropping Friday for basketball, but I can't wait for senior night. That'll be ESPN night.
Oh, okay.
That place, we'll have to make some signs. We're definitely going to make some signs.
We can get on. We can go Instagram Live, do like a little
Yep.
game day.
We
thing.
might have a little game day. I might order me some microphones, and unless
Do it.
Dennis wants to
Go
join
for
in
it.
with us,
All right.
have us a little coaches talk before the game. I won't talk to the opposing coaches. Coach Cusick over there, he's a traitor. He used to play at Jeff County. Hey, I love you, Coach Cusick, but I won't love you that game. But first home game, we got Coach Centered returning.
Yeah.
And he's a Jeff Co alumni.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be happy with what I got to say, because I think there's two places you don't coach at after you coach at Jeff County. It'd be Morristown West and Cott County, and he's at Cott County.
Well, he was at Cott County before he came back here.
That was before though.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
before.
right. So the
That's
key
before I
phrase-
knew Coach Reese. I knew
Okay.
Coach Sanders when he was coaching here, but
Cott County, here's a cheeseburger story. You're talking about cheeseburger, Cott County. So they're about, I don't know, like 1921. Like it got a little heated with them a few times, Cott County, because they're still in their district. So we got this kid. They call him Cheeseburger. You can just put Drew Wright.
Oh,
He's my
yeah.
man.
Drew.
No
I
one
remember
seen
Cheeseburger.
it.
Yeah.
I
Hit
remember
that
him.
walk off.
Drew Wright. He hit a walk off on senior day, I think it was. Hey, Cheeseburger. That's what they called him. So we're beating Cott County like 16-1. We're just smoking them. So I empty the bench. It's like the fourth inning. Empty the bench. Put Drew Wright in. He gets on second base. Shortstop's trying to be just you know. He's like, hey, I bet you're beep that you can't steal third base. We're up 16-1. Nobody else on base. Drew Wright's just out there dancing around. He takes off, steals third. Up 16-1. Crispin goes unglued on me. And at Cott County, I'm over there. Like he's
Right there.
Yeah,
like,
you're right in front of their dugout.
Hey, he's like 16-1 ain't good enough. I was like, Chris, I said I ain't gave a sign since the first inning, buddy. I ain't gave a sign. I said your shortstop over there running his mouth. So Cheeseburger said, I'm gonna go steal this bag right here.
And then he hit a walk off at the end of the game.
Next day.
The next day. It was almost a home run.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger.
I remember.
I got all them Cott County stories.
Yeah, well, whenever I was still over in Newport, you guys came up there and played, and conveniently the scoreboard was not working, but I kept a running tally of the score, and it was 20-0 at one point. And I'm texting Seth Butler about it, and he's just like, "Wow, Zach and Andy are like best friends. I'm surprised he would do that."
I got a
to
Cott
me."
County story. This year we were playing football. Our fans travel well. We couldn't sit on the visitor side, so I took we took the student section over to the other side, and I guess I don't even know. Matter of fact, it's like my uncle-in-law or something. We're related somehow. He's the AD over there at Cott County, and so we got I think it's their new base. We got their new baseball coach, Dr. Vic. Yeah, we got this new Cott County's new baseball coach, and we got some teachers over here, and they're just chirping us the whole time before the game even started about the music, the boom box. Imagine that, whatever. Cott County having no fun. They're just mad they didn't win much games this year. Did they win a game this year? One, and it wasn't against us. I mean, we blow them out. And so I made sure after the game we took that flag and we waved it around the center of the field. I'm just blasting music, and I looked at that baseball coach and I gave him a nice pose after the game. Because, they were just chirping. It's like some mom from the crowd was like, y'all boys keep it down over here. And that's when I turned that bum box all the way up and started just getting ready for kickoff. I loved it.
So I meant this was all before the game.
Before the game even started. Before the game even started. And then they were quiet after we scored in 3 plays. And that was it for that game.
didn't think it took 3 plays, to be honest.
I thought it was 2.
Or, wow.
I mean, Omarion would break off a run like
Yeah.
within the first handful of plays almost every game this year.
True.
Story of that game, we
keep
got
count.
Edley. Edley got in the game. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah,
Edley, Fear 99.
everybody got what they wanted. It was funny. Spencer said, "I don't want anybody chanting whenever he goes out on the
Oh, I was
field."
chanting.
That didn't hold.
I've been chanting his name since week 1. Get him in the game.
I've heard a chant every single home game for sure.
Oh, for
I
sure.
have.
Big Edley, Fear 99. That's it. We'll go. I think he's gonna come up to the basketball game Friday.
Well, there you go.
There you
He'll raise Kane. I know he will.
go. Zach, I'm gonna be him and my dad are both leaving this year. I'm gonna be the last one standing over here. Doc's retiring.
Yep.
He's leaving.
We need us a new trainer.
I
Won't
know.
find one like that.
Well, it's been a long ride. It's been a good ride. Anything you want to say? Wrap it all up. Last thing to the fans, to the community.
Maybe throw some chicken legs.
Throw some chicken legs in there.
No, it has been a great run. That's what I was telling you the day after. Like that week, it was just a tough week. You know, trying to figure it all out. And like I said, I had great support from my family. You know, that's the toughest part. And like it's tough. It's lonely at the top. You know, to be a head coach. That's what I told Coach Long the other day. I mean, I've been here same amount of hours even since this happened. You know, I've been here trying to help him out and do whatever I can. And I told him, I said, hey, it's lonely up there. You ain't got many people that you can go to, or I was like, you got to rely on your family. They're gonna support you, and that's what mine did. You know, the problem with me is I couldn't turn it off when I went home. You know, and you know, I kind of said the same thing. Like, I'm gonna spend more time with my daughters, and I do a lot with them. You know, it's not the fact that I'm not there a bunch. In the spring, it sucks. Like, I'll go like 4 days, and I'll see them for about 10 minutes in 4 days. You know, it's more like when I am home, I ain't home. You know, and that's why I try to tell Coach Long. I was like, you got to find a way to shut it off, and that's the hardest thing as a coach. You ask anybody here, Coach Hill ain't married, so he don't ever shut it off. You know, but you know, that's like, you got to find a way to do it. And it's hard to be successful. It's hard to turn it off, you know. But like I said, every day when I go home, I'm thinking about, like, hey, what should we do? Or if a kid's in trouble, or like, how should I handle it? You know, it's always. So the 30 minutes I do get to spend with him, you know, I'm like, I ain't even thinking about. I'm thinking about baseball stuff, you know. So, just great support, you know. And like I said, I wasn't going into this thing to do like Coach Holland. You know, I was going to go hard, and I was going to go for a short amount of time, try to be successful, and, you know, we were, and it's a lot better. It's better than where we left it, you know, and that ain't nothing against Coach Cox. It's just, it's more me, like, hey, here's what we started with, and everybody looks at 2017. That seems like 20 years ago to me, 2017, but that's what people's going to point to, this whole thing. Y'all went to the state tournament. I think you even asked me, like, greatest memory that day, the day it happened. You're like, what's your guy? Man, I got so many of them. But people are going to look at that year. But it was more the fact that we were able to keep doing it year after year, you know. And even in our worst year, like, we still advance in the postseason, you know. And from day one, that's all I preached to them, because that's all that matters. Like I said, it don't matter. It don't matter if you win 20 games or 14 games or 30 games. Like, if you can win in May, that's what a program is built on. All right, and once you do it, can you continue to do it? And we did it 5 times, you know. So take 1 year COVID out. There's only 2 years we didn't do it. And that's what I'm proud of. Like I said, I got no doubt Coach Long's going to keep that rolling, you know.
Do you plan to still be around?
Yeah, I'm going to stick around. That's why, like I said, I'm going to help him. I'm going to support these guys. Like I said, that's the hardest part. You know, it might sound bad, like it wasn't hard leaving the whole team. It was. Like, talking to that team is the hardest thing I ever do. But this senior class, like I said, I've known him since he's coached all 3 of them. I've known him since he's like, dang, 7 years old or whatever. Same thing with Bo, you know. I've known, like, it's more than just 4 years of high school, you know. So that, like, I owe it to those guys. Not I'm trying to stay out of Coach Long's way. You know, I'm going to be there to help him. Like I said, I've been up there helping him mow, helping him get sight, whatever. I'll help him do whatever he asks me to do. But at the same time, it's his turn, you know. I'm not going to get in the way. And that's the other day he had a meeting. He's like, hey, can you come? I was like, I'm going to come up and help you do some stuff. And I was like, you have your meeting. I'm going to stay. I don't want him to be looking at me like, because it ain't me no more. So it's been a good run, successful, man. It's just, like I said, we didn't have a bunch of kids get in trouble, great students. And like I said, I told the team that day, anything you want to do in high school baseball, we proved you can do it here. And that's what I'll go out with. Like we didn't win a state championship, but that ain't our goal here. You know, it's like I'd like to win one. I would have quit the day we won one. I'd have been here 2 years, and I'd have been done. But it's more just like, can you be successful and can you sustain it over? And we were able to do that, you know. And that's something, like I said, a lot of it. It's players. They play the game. I don't do jack squat in the game. Sit over there and get mad or give some signs or whatever. Like, they play the game. But just like I said, I just think we had a program that's built where you can, like, it ain't a 1 year thing and you're done. You know, and that's the best thing about leaving here. I know it's set up where whoever, they're gonna be fine. You know, especially with the group they got this year.
Well, after 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
COVID year got us too.
Yeah, it did. 7 combined Coach of the Years, Lakeway IMAC, 157 wins, back-to-back District 2A regular season champions. 4A, sorry. I forgot we're up to 4A
Well, it's
now.
3A at the time.
3A at the time. District tournament title in 2017. You're the second coach in program history to reach that sectional round more than once, 2017 and 23, and the only state playoff appearance making it to the Final Four in 2017. So you talk about the sustainability over time. I think it's definitely one that you can hang your hat on, and I think it's that record speaks for itself. Absolutely, for sure.
It's a coveted job, man. It's a place. Listen, I told you I got 3 hours. I go 4 hours, 3, 6. Bad dog. Like even before I got here, like it's a place baseball people understand what goes on here. You know, football or basketball, like they might just know because they're here. Like you go across the state, people know Jeff County baseball now. You know, and I like I said, I played for Coach Holland. There's a lot of plaques on that wall up there. You know, and even with Coach Seals, Coach Warren, Coach Cox, they just all kept piling them up. You know, so I felt my job. Told you that day, like I'm connected to every coach that's ever coached here. In 50, whatever, how many years? 50 years. I'm connected to Coach Holland. Coach Seals played for him. Played for Coach Cox. Coach with Coach Cox. Coach with Coach Warner. I'm connected to every one of them in some way, and I felt as if, like I said, when we go up there. Like, it's my job to keep putting them plaques on the wall, you know, and it's these guys' job, and they understand it. It ain't about state championship ring, right? But it ain't about, like, let's go have fun either, you know? So that was our goal, and like I said, I think we accomplished it. Player of the year in the state, too. I didn't even mention that. That's a huge thing for us.
We did even, I can't believe Tanner Franklin.
Mr. Baseball.
That's what I'm saying. Every single thing, you can do it right here. You can go to the SEC and play baseball. You can be the player of the year in the state.
Yeah.
You can go to the state tournament. Like, who wouldn't want it? If you're a baseball dude, who wouldn't want it? So I'm saying, Coach Long, it's awesome. You know, and I think he realizes, like I said, because he played here, he's been here a long time. Like, he realizes that. And he's going to hold it like he's going to do the same thing I did. I'm responsible now for putting them plaques on the wall. And he's going to do it. So,
I hate that we even forgot to mention that. Do you have a favorite pitcher that you've got to coach? Now that you're done, so you can openly say.
No, I ain't going to.
Seriously?
I got a lot of stuff I could say, but I probably shouldn't say.
Oh, come on.
CIFP, y'all remember that one? That was before you. And that was Nolan's CIFP. That was one of our slogans up there. It's a good story on that one.
Okay.
I can't talk about that on the mic. I can. I can just take the P word out.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. Like I said, that Tanner Franklin, that year, just look at his stats. It blows my dang mind. Them stats he had that year, and that's what that award is. It's statistical. It's maybe you take Richard Rundles here. That's the only dude that ever had anything close to that, and he didn't pitch as much as Tanner did. You know, a kid got drafted though. That's a big deal. But like those numbers were unreal. And we went down there to that TBCA. We went down to the award show, and they're reading off everybody's, and we're like, this freaking thing's over with. Once they read off everybody, just crazy. You know, and that was one kid. I don't like to pick. Like I said, when he pitched though, I could sit over there and I didn't have to. His senior year, that his junior year, he's kind of his hit and miss. You know, but his senior year, I could sit over there and I didn't even have to watch the dang game. I was like, if we scored 2 runs, it's over today. When he was out there his senior year, and most times that's what it was.
Reminds me of Caitlin Riley's senior year in softball.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
And that's a huge thing. Like I said, ain't nobody ever thought of that from here. Player of the year in the state. So that's probably one of my happiest for a player's personal accomplishment. That one right there is it, man. That's a huge deal. I think I don't know.
It just adds to the list of things that
Yeah.
he's been a part of. I mean, seriously, a decorated career. Certainly one that shouldn't be forgotten, won't be forgotten in Jeff County baseball history. It's been a great run. Just
Heck
hate
yeah,
to see
man.
that it's ended.
Yeah. It's time to go. Time to go. It's been a lot of fun now. Like I said, I told those guys I ain't leaving with a regret. I ain't got none. You know, it could have gone. Certain things could have gone different. You know, but I left there that day just feeling like not that we've accomplished everything we need to, but I felt like it's time for me. I think we've done what we need to here. So on to the next.
Well, guys, that sounds good. I appreciate you guys for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Until next time.